Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Let me tell you.
An actual judge. Okay.
Top-notch guy right there.
Okay.
Anthony
Unknown
Bosley.
caller.
Yes.
Is that Judge Jerry Lee?
Judge Jerry Lee.
Judge Jerry Lee here, guys. How you doing?
We're doing good. You're on the podcast with the Nice Guy Andy podcast. We got somebody you might know here, Austin Diamond and Scott Diamond.
Judge, how you doing,
Austin,
my friend?
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, he addressed me first. You stay in your lane, Grandpa.
Oh, you
Judge
got it.
Jerry
You
Lee,
got it.
I am alive and well. How are you doing, my friend?
Oh, doing good. Want to call and talk to you guys.
Understandably so. In fact, I wake up every morning just to talk to myself and look in the mirror.
I hear you there.
Nothing would get done over there, and I don't know if I can say the county, but in that S County, I'm not going to say the name of it because I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but nothing would get done over there in that S County if it was not for Judge Jerry Lee, let me tell you.
Hey, Jerry Lee, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, like you said, we ain't gonna mention no counties or anything, but been the judge, been a lot of things here, and law enforcement and whatnot, and I met Scott. Like every kid wants to be in the wrestling business, and I was doing some ring announcing for All American MMA. Heard they needed an announcer, went over there, and the fella in the back told me I had to wait and talk to this Scott Diamond fella. He tell me what to do, and I said, "Well, I don't know who this fella is."
Checks out.
I said, "Well," they said, "Well, he'll be here in a little while." And I thought, "Well, I don't know who this fella is, but okay, I'll wait on him. I don't know how I'm gonna know who he is." Well, he came walking in the door, and by the way he was dressed and the way he was talking, I said, "I bet that right there is Scott Diamond."
Yeah, it's got to be, right?
And it was. I thought I was going to be a ring announcer, and he lined me all out, and I was a heel announcer, and we went from there, and he taught me everything I knew, and made my dream come true there. Really?
Are you still doing announcing?
No,
Just
kind
on
of retired from everything.
Okay. You're still a judge, right? You're not retired from the judge?
No, I ain't retiring from all that. I'm
Okay.
still Judge Shirley.
Hey, look, he's too modest. Not only was he a great ring announcer, and that, it seems like a lot of people on the outside looking in that'd be an easy job, but it's really not. You got to know everything about anybody coming to the ring. So that's a tough job.
This announcing
Exhibit
stuff
A.
is hard.
Not only that, like I said, the judge is being a little bit shy. He turned out before he retired out of the wrestling business as one of the best heel managers in Indiana, Southern Indiana, and
Okay.
Kentucky.
All right.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
If you're ever in Lexington, maybe we'll have you on the podcast in person.
Yeah, I'd like that.
He the one that came out with Vic the Bruiser towards the tail end of KE?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
Different judge.
As a different judge, yes.
Okay.
Vic
Sorry.
and that judge, they had been running together 30 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's a little bit older than Judge Jerry Lee is, but
I tell you what else is tough. Sorry, Scott. Go ahead.
No, you're fine, Judge. Go ahead. I need those parking tickets taken care of, so you got the show.
Right. I tell you what's I didn't want to say anything, but I tell you what else is tough is it's wrestling a mop. Wrestling a mop is tough.
Wrestling a
Judge,
mop.
are you going to tell that story?
Tell it.
I've heard this story.
Oh gosh,
I haven't.
Yeah.
Judge went to the ring with me that night.
Yeah, that was a funny story.
Oh my gosh.
You want to tell the
Yeah,
story,
we had-
Judge?
Go ahead and start it out, Scott.
Yeah. So, I had lost this match to TJ Lightning, and
Yeah.
at the time, I was the general manager over there, and I was running the show. And of course, there's a lot of people that were upset because they felt like that I was being biased upon the show because a lot of the bad guys were getting breaks that some of the good guys felt that they should have gotten. But my philosophy always was, we'll go in the parking lot, and whoever wins the fight, that's the one that gets it. And so, when the judge was training to be a manager, of course, as he was saying, I took him under my wing. So when I lost this match to TJ Lightning, I had to do some of the most. These things were below me, so below me, I'll tell you. And so, of course, I shared the limelight with Judge Jerry Lee. So when things got a little rough, I had to pull him along to give me a hand. And so one evening during intermission, we had a vinyl canvas. On the ring, we had a vinyl canvas, and so a lot of sweat, blood, whatnot get on there. And so during intermissions, they have somebody come out and they swab the vinyl canvas so as not to pass on any colds, flus, or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so, as much as I hated it, TJ Lightning says, it's cut and dry. You either do the job we ask, or you're in breach of contract, and then we could send you home without paying you the rest of the money on your contract. And of course, Scott Diamond loves money more than anything, and so I said, of course, I'll do whatever the heck you say. And then so he tells me, he says, I need you to get the mop bucket, put some cleaner in there, and come up here and mop the ring during intermission. And I'll go right out on the record and say it pissed me off to no end.
I bet.
Because again, I
I
felt
can imagine you with the mop.
No, not since I left the Marine Corps.
Oh,
no.
yeah.
And that was 40 years ago.
Yeah, mopping the head.
And so, yes. And so I go back and I tell Judge Jerry Lee, I said, look, man, this is a crappy job, but, I can't go home and not collect this money. I like sitting around collecting money. So if we just got to mop the thing, it can't be all that bad.
Yeah.
I was not really totally correct on it not being that bad. And so Judge Jerry Lee, he always had Scott Diamond's back, even that night. So he's standing behind me. He even carried the bucket. He even carried the mop bucket, filled it full of water, the whole 9 yards. And so when I get out there, of course, I've got the mop in my hand. Judge Jerry Lee's behind me with a bucket of water. He's going to help me because that's the kind of guy he was. And so as he's coming through the rope, we were distracted by TJ Lightning. And so as I'm looking over at him, not paying attention to the judge coming in, the judge looks over at TJ Lightning as well. The bad thing there was when he looked over at TJ Lightning, he hadn't got all the way into the ring yet. Mm-hmm. So when the judge came in, he tripped on that bottom rope, and guess where that bucket of water went? All over the ring. Oh, and just as soon as it went all over the ring, of course, Scott Diamond was wearing a $500 pair of Italian leather shoes. They don't do too good in water.
No.
And so when the slip sliding was done, Scott Diamond was on his back looking at the lights. I had a mop over my chest. Jerry Lee was standing over there with this deer in the headlights. Looked like, man, I am so sorry. And TJ Lightning jumps down, counts 1, 2, 3, holds the mop up, and says Scott Diamond just got beat by a mop.
Oh, wow.
And for over a year, and some people still do it to this day. They have called Scott Diamond a housewife ever since that.
Oh, wow.
Oh, snap.
Yeah,
they won't say it to your face, though.
No, they won't say it to my face.
When he says he was slipping and sliding, he looked like he was running in place for 5 minutes. And it was, I hate to say it, but it's kind of and Scott, who was that? Kid Mack.
Kid Mack.
He was in the ring after Scott. We still had to mop the dang ring, and Scott started mopping, and Kid Mack's in there going, "Mop that floor, boy, mop that floor."
I kicked him in the face one time, and I wish he was around so I could kick him one more time.
One more time.
As the judge saying, Kid Mack was there, and he got the better end that night because, again, he and TJ Lightning. But there did come a time that Kid Mack and myself, because, as a promoter and booker, sometimes I have the option of setting up matches.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you have to give out blank contracts in order to get things the way that you want them. And TJ Lightning and Kid Mack was on such a roll. I mean, they're both great athletes, don't get me wrong. Excuse me, I give credit where credit is due. But when I got Kid Mack finally into a match, Scott Diamond, because Kid Mack, now just put it out there, he was a great athlete. TJ Lightning, great athlete too. Kid Mack at the time was the midget or little person, however you want to say it, heavyweight champion at the time.
Okay.
Well, after he did that to Judge Jerry Lee and Scott Diamond that night, I gave him a blank contract of which he signed, and then, of course, I put my name on the bottom of that, and I kicked him in the face, and Scott Diamond became the first 6-foot-tall midget champ right there.
He did.
With that being said, Jerry, here we are being very generous and charitable, trying to make you look good. But you're on here, and you're making my last name look bad, so it's like this. He was being very generous, talking about one of the best managers to ever come down the pike, one of the best announcers to ever come down the pike, other than Austin Diamond. And you know what? He even said, you carried the mop bucket. Well, just because you couldn't do that well, I'll give it to you like this. You did carry gear bags pretty well. You were pretty all right at that.
And mop buckets.
Come to think of it, it's about time you came and got mine.
Judge, we have created a monster.
Yeah.
But I hear that. I'm so glad to hear Austin's voice. And, but to tell you that Scott did not duck challenges with the midget belt. He would come into the ring and offer to fight any midget in the audience, any two midgets in the
Two
audience.
midgets. Yeah.
Never was it accepted.
Oh wow.
Because they knew better, Judge.
Do you still hold that title, or did you lose it to somebody?
I actually lost it back to Kid Mac about 3 months later.
Okay.
But, it kind of made me mad, so I just kept the damn belt.
Yeah.
He held it over his head. Little guy came up short. What can I say?
That's right. Yeah, he got mad. Yeah, I was just going to say, when I wouldn't give the title back, because when you lose, you're supposed to, give that title to whoever wins. And so since I wouldn't give the title back, he did bring a lawsuit against me, tried to sue me, but, he came up a little short.
Yeah.
Yes.
Almost the midget champion.
Good thing you had a judge in your back.
Champions and better.
Yeah, I had a judge in my back pocket.
I heard the judge said it was a tall lorder try to spin
It
that
was indeed.
lawsuit.
Hey, Leon, if you're watching, we got the judge on the line. Call us back as soon as we get him off.
We're making light of a few things, but the truth of the matter is this, wrestling is a tough business.
Johnny, message him.
You really have to have tough skin, and you got to be able to not only, everybody talks about going out and beating people up. Well, there's times that the shoe is on the other foot, hook or crook, you get beat up a little bit yourself. But I got to say, the judge stuck it out, and he done a great thing by Scott Diamond. No matter where I went, no matter where I needed him, he was always there, whether it be a legal matter, of course, because Scott Diamond's had a lot of legal problems in the world.
No, sir. Not Scott Diamond.
Absolutely.
I told you I'd love
I even
Judge?
went as far as babysitting a couple of times. You remember that, Austin?
Unfortunately, yes, I do.
So why were you babysitting the judge?
Well, you see, I had to grace him with my presence. I've been a very
Well, I needed somebody
Yes,
that night.
Jonathan Barnes left a great comment,
goodness.
putting both you guys over. Hey guys, Scott Diamond taught me so much. BC, aka before COVID, we used to shut down Cookout
Yeah.
lobby many nights in Frankfurt. He took a chance on an announcer from a different company to follow his dream to be a referee.
Yeah.
He also kept me in the business after his pops passed last year.
Yeah.
I hope that we can work together again soon, boss. The future is bright for the Diamond legacy in Austin.
Professor, we will do more together. He's another great young man. His dream was to be a referee, and it just wasn't going real good for him initially. And I don't know. I have this eye, and sometimes you can see things in people that they don't even see in themselves. And Jonathan Barnes, the same way with the judge. I seen more things happening for them. I seen that they had, this hunger within them that they could really take that ball and run with it. And, I give them a couple of pointers, and then I gave them the ball, and they both ran with it. So
That's right.
Professor, we'll definitely get together, and thank you for the kind words. And Judge, always a pleasure, my friend. Always a pleasure.
Thank you guys for having me on. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Joe Goldsoul said he's thankful for the podcast and the Diamond Cartel, who I've dreamed of working with maybe one day.
And Andrew Dubrown says he's been to every one.